Hey everybody, Jason here. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I've been pretty busy with leatherwork and stuff, but in this next series of leather videos, I'm going to show you guys how to properly set your snaps, rivets, and eyelets. And I have here, I think, just about all the tools I use for that. You've got your 3/16 eyelet setter set. This is the 1/4" eyelet setter set, and then we've got 4 different size rivets. This is your line 20 snap, line 24 snap, and then those are the eyelets right there. You're also going to want your 6-piece hole punch set, and I made a little pattern here for you guys to kind of show you some stuff. And this baby right here is a Craftool Deluxe Snap All Rivet Setter set. Of course, got it at Tandy Leather. There was a foam inlay and there was a piece of paper on here I don't have anymore. But if you're gonna set snaps by hand, I highly recommend this one. Works very, very well. So let's get to it. We'll start off with simple stuff like the rivets, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so we're gonna install some rivets. And what you're going to need is you're going to need your hole punch set right there, and you'll need your rivets. I'm trying to get as much of a close-up as I possibly can so you guys can see. As you notice, you've got different sizes of rivets. You've got small, extra small, medium, and large, and then you got all your different sizes. 99% of the time I use the smallest hole punch for the rivets, and I believe it's a 5/64. It is the, let me grab the catalog real quick here for you guys. It is the 6-piece setter kit over at Tandy Leather. Ooh, let me see if I can get that in there. There you go. That's it right there. You got your sizes. See if I can back that up. There you go. 5/64, 3/32, 1/8 inch, 9/64, 5/32, 11/64. That is the punch set right there that we're going with. Whoops, sorry about that. So I use the smallest hole. You want to keep your, whatever you're setting, like rivets, eyelet, snaps, you want to make them as snug as possible in the leather, and by using that smallest hole, they're going to be really snug. So let's go do it. Alright, so we're going to move this away. Depending on the thickness of the leather, depends on what size rivet you're going to use. For this, I'll go for the medium size one. As you can see, they all have different size caps and your and the posts. And the cool thing about rivets is the caps are interchangeable. You can actually use different size caps for the different size rivet with the post. So I'm just going to go with this. I believe that would be the medium one right there. So I'm going to move these aside, and this will just be an example. So we're going to take 2 pieces of leather here for a example. Most of the time when you're riveting 2 pieces of leather together. Not always. Sometimes you're doing it for decoration. But let's just say we're going to snap these 2 together. So you can actually, we can pretend this leather is glued together, stitched together, whatever. You can punch through both pieces. And sometimes if the hole's not big enough, the nice thing about this hole punch, you can just stick it through there, twist it, and kind of widen the hole a little bit. Like I said, you want to make sure whatever you're setting is nice and snug. So what you're going to do is take the rivet with the post, put that through, and then you can just put the other one on top. This is just for an example. And as you can see, you got a little bit sticking up, and that's perfect. That's actually exactly what you want. You can press the cap on top of it, and then, where's my rivet setter? I just lost it. There it is. Here's your rivet setter. It's just a very simple tool. You can pick these up at Tandy Leather all the time. I'm going to move my cutting board right here. Now, in the in part of my kit where you have this, you can use this small circle to seat your rivet, or the other side. I don't feel you need to do that. When you're pounding a rivet, you can put it just on a hard surface like that, and then take your tool, the part with the rounded, I guess, domed sunk inside, you put on top, and just hammer it. Just like that. If you choose to hammer your rivet directly on a hard surface, it will flatten out the back, which sometimes can actually help you, or you may not want that look, but it does not damage it whatsoever. But there you go. That's how you set a rivet. And the same process would go for any of the different size rivets. The only rivets I'm not going to be showing you, I do not have any copper rivets, the ones with the holes, so that I cannot show you, so I apologize. But yeah, that's how simple it is. I don't think there's really any more to say than that. You just punch a hole, stick the rivet in there, and use your setter on top of it, and hammer it in. Very simple. We'll go, next we'll do the eyelets. Okay guys, next we're going to set some eyelets. And if you want, make yourself one of these. This can help you. I do have another hole punch, and this is just one I bought separate. It's a 1/4 inch. I bought from Tandy Leather, and you can use this for your 1/4 inch eyelets. That is the big hole right there, and if you notice, the eyelet will fall out. Now that's the 1/4 inch eyelet. That's the 1/4 inch hole. You see how it fell out. Not necessarily what you want. So we're going to take the biggest hole in that set, which is this one. And if you notice, the eyelet will not fit in there. If you widen the hole out, sorry, if you take your hole punch in there, and you widen it out, you'll get a nice snug fit, and it's not going to fall out. But this is kind of cheating. We're going to do a brand new hole right here. So let me move this stuff. We've got our setters right here, and I'll show you that. So let's get another piece of leather here to punch our holes. I'm going to have to take this stuff off. Okay, so we're going to take the biggest hole, which was a 11/64 on that 6-piece set, and we'll just punch that. Oops, sorry, the hammer was in the way. Now let me actually figure out the size of the 3/16 eyelet, which looks like it would be the 3rd hole, which is the 1/8 inch. You know, honestly, technically these eyelets are 1/8 inch. It says 3/16, but they're actually 1/8 inch. Sorry, I just dropped it. Okay, so we're gonna automatically punch another hole here while I've got these out. So I'm pretty sure this is the 3rd one. Oops, did the thing with the hammer again. Okay, so we've got our 2 holes punched, and so we're going to move the cutting board, and we'll go over here and bring our setters in. Now I'm going to have to widen this hole out because I like a snug fit on my snaps and rivets and all that, so we're going to stick that in there. Might be a little tough. There is another set you can buy, another 6-piece set that takes off after the 11/64 and goes up. Alright, so I got that one set in there, and we'll go ahead and put the 1/8 inch in there. So as you can see, they don't fall, and they're nice and snug in there. So here is your setter. This is the 1/4 inch eyelet setter. You can see there is a ring in there, kind of like a donut, and that's what this part is gonna sit in. I guess they call it a seat. And then you're gonna take your setter. Now this is for the 1/4 inch eyelets, if you can kind of get a look at that. And just kind of hold this. Sorry, I know my hand's in the way. And what I like to do, I'll pound it down I pound it down just a couple of times, and then I'm going to go in a circle. And that's it. Nice and secure. And now we're going to switch that, and we're going to bring in the seat for the 3/16. Same thing, you just set it on top in the seat. And here is the 3/16 other part of the setter. There you go. That's it, plain and simple. You just punch a hole, stick it in there, and use the seat or setter, whatever comes with it. So last we'll do the snaps. Those can actually be the most difficult, the most challenging. So we'll do those last. And so yeah, that's the eyelets right there. Alright guys, we're going to work on the snaps now. Now, there's something I need to talk to you about before we go any further with these. The posts on snaps. This is your line 24 snap. These are the bigger ones. This is the line 20. These are the smaller ones. Smaller ones obviously have smaller and shorter posts, but they only come with one size posts. So why is that a big deal? The big deal is because sometimes you may want to put snaps on utility leather or thinner leather, something like this leather that is probably, you know, it's like not even, it's probably a 1/16 of an inch thick. If you're going to be using something thick, anywhere between 8, 9, 10 ounce leather, the snaps are fine. But when you're using thin leather, you're going to have to sand down the posts. And what I mean by that is, if you can see how much this post is going to stick up, why does that matter? Well, when you seat this and you're going to pound this down, this post is going to be so stinking high that it's going to bend and fold and split. So you are going to have to get used to the fact of sanding down your posts, or cutting them, whichever way you want to do it. I've got my sander out in my shop, so if the leather is too thin, I'll just take them out there. In like 2 seconds you can sand down a couple millimeters, 1/8 of an inch, and that's something that you're just going to have to figure out, do some trial and error. So I want to explain that now so you don't find out the hard way that like I did. If you want to put snaps in a very thin piece of leather, and then all of a sudden the whole post bends over, because you only need a little bit of post to pound down onto your other part. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so line 24 snap. We are going to use the size of our hole punch, and that's going to be the 3rd one, which is 1/8 inch. So I'm going to have to move some of this stuff. Alright, so where's my hammer? Alright, we're going to go ahead, we're going to punch a hole. Sorry, did the hammer thing again. And we're going to punch another hole over here, because for the opposite end. Okay. And again, like I said, you can take your hole punch and stick it through the other end to kind of widen the hole a little bit. Alright, so we're going to take the piece I just dropped. You take your dome end, which will be the top. stick it through the hole, and then we're going to take the bottom part of it and we're going to stick that through this hole. It doesn't really matter which side you put it on, this is just for example. And so now we're going to take our setter. Here's the setter. We're going to go with the biggest size hole on there. That is for the line 24 snap. And if this makes sense to you, this is what I was talking about. This leather is fairly thick. You can see how much post is sticking up. So that's about as much as you want. About an 1/8 inch sticking up. You don't need any more than that. And because the leather is very thick, it's going to hold the post in place. So we don't have to worry about that bending over. Okay, so for the domed portion of the snap, you're going to want to use, trying to get a close-up for you, this piece. That one's going to go on top. And then the other one is going to go on that one. Alright, so first, then we're going to take the other part of the setter, which is this big beast. And same thing with the eyelets. I pound this down just a little bit, and then I will kind of go in a circle. And there you go. Came out pretty good. And now for the other one, you can use this setter, but on this bottom part you can just put it right on your hard surface. You don't necessarily have to use this. For the domed, you do have to use it. If you just put that on a flat surface, you are totally going to ruin the nice dome, and that's the part that you see. For this part, this is usually underneath something, you don't see it, so you can do that on a hard surface and it's not going to damage it. It actually flattens it out a little bit, and in my opinion, makes it a little bit better. So, as you can see, nice. That one's set perfectly, and then there we go. There's our two snaps. That's it. So what we're going to do is have a little fun here, and we're going to leave that together. So we're going to do the line 20 snap, and so I'm going to take, dang it, that hammer again. I'm going to take the smallest hole on the hole punch, which is the 5/64, and we're just going to go all the way through, and we're going to make another snap on the same piece. Alright, so what did I do with the snaps? Here we go. Here's the dome part, which we're going to put on the same place as the line 24. Same thing with the other end. We're going to put this one through, and then have that one set on there, and this one set on there just like that. And then we're going to have two snaps for this. So I'm going to move the cutting board. We'll do this one first. No, let's not confuse you guys. Let's do this one. So we're going to use the setter, and for the line 20, you're going to use the second largest hole there. And you can see how you put that in there, and it's nice and stable, which is exactly what you want. Now we've got a different size setter. It's basically the same thing as a 24. It's just a little bit smaller for this post on the snap. Actually, that one did not come out very well. I should have pushed the leather down, so yeah, actually that post was actually not tall enough. I don't know if you can see that. The inside's a little bit smushed, so I actually should have used thinner leather for that 24 snap, but it is holding. But this video is just to show you how to set them, but understand things can go wrong. Alright guys, so I'm going to redo the line 20 snap. As you can see, that leather on the last piece was too thick, and the post did not pound down correctly. And that's something that you'll learn as you're doing this when you're setting snaps and rivets. The thickness of the leather does matter. I should have known that that was too thick for the 24 snap, or for the 20, I'm sorry, for the 20 snap. So so we're gonna do the line 20 separately. Alright, so here's the pieces. That's pretty much what we need right there, and your hammer. Alright, so we're gonna punch our holes, and for the hole we're gonna use the smallest one, the 5/64. Move this stuff aside. One there. One there. So we'll take the top, the domed, and that should be quite enough posts sticking up right there. And same thing with the other end. I'm going to use my hole punch to make the hole a little bit bigger, and then that'll slide in perfectly. And sorry, the camera angle, it's kind of confusing. And that should be enough, so we'll find out here. We'll start with the domed. We'll take our setter, and we're going to use the second to the biggest one. If you're ever confused about what set seat to use, you can always just stick it in there, and you can see how well it fits in there, and that's what we want. That's why I love this setter kit. So just like the line 24 snap, we got one of these setters. It looks almost identical, it's just smaller. And I'm going to set this the exact same way. And that one came out much better. That one came out good. Okay, so for the other side of the snap, as you can see how flat that is, this one you can do directly on the hard surface, and that will not, you do not have to use the seat for that, for this one. And there you go, you're done. Snaps together. There's your snaps. That's it. Alright guys, so I'm pretty much done with this video. I just wanted to show you one thing. I can't get the name in there. There we go. Now if you would like to do this the very easy way and make sure that your snaps and rivets and eyelets are all set perfectly, you can go to Tandy and buy this. It is a Craftool hand press. I'm not sure the size of this thing. Here listed are all the different dies. What you do is you basically will insert your rivets, your eyelet, your snaps in here and pull this down with your hand. I'm pretty sure this is really big. You'd be pulling it down with your hand, and it will press everything together nice and neatly and perfectly. So what you would do is you buy this, and then you buy each individual die for the different snaps and rivets. So why don't I do that? Because this costs $150, and every single die costs between $60 and $90 each. So that's why. But if you guys think it's cost efficient for you, go for it. I mean, I would love to have it. For me, it's just not worth the money when I already have the tools to do it by hand. But I figured I would just let you guys know what's out there. And so that's it. That's the video. I hope it helped. If you guys got any questions, if I missed something, I think I just about covered it. All the tools that I've used you can get at Tandy Leather, all the rivets, eyelets, and snaps, all that stuff. So if you guys want to try this out, go to Tandy Leather. They'll have everything that I just used. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.